Hi, welcome to this episode of Your Black World News. I'm your host, Roosevelt Mitchell III. Today I'm joined by a special guest, Mrs. Madam President. How's it going today, Madam?
It's well. Thanks for asking.
Thank you so much for your time, because I know you are very, very busy. But I want to discuss, as a topic of discussion, the conservative TV host for The Blaze, Tomi Lahren. She kind of did like a final segment about Beyonce and her halftime show, and we all know that doing a Super Bowl halftime show, Beyonce came out in black berets and waved the black fist and gave a kind of like a shout out to Malcolm X as well as the Black Panther Party, and that is, and a lot of people has had many things to say, but this particular host, which is a 23-year-old conservative host, Tomi Lahren, says things such as Beyonce didn't pay tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and our leaders who fought injustice with dignity, but she chose a group in the Black Panthers who fought with violence. And she then blamed Beyonce, President Obama, and Al Sharpton for not letting America heal from racism, but constantly keep ripping off the historical Band-Aid. And last but not least, she stated, Beyonce, your husband Jay-Z was a drug dealer. For 14 years, he sold crack cocaine. Talk about protecting black neighborhoods, start at home. So, you've seen this video. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, my first thought is very simple. White supremacy. Period, point blank. When I saw the video and I heard this woman, this 23-year-old woman, discuss historical facts, and it was a very biased point of view. And what point of view was it? It was from a white, privileged point of view. So tell me, as a white American female in the body of Beyonce Knowles, who's a black American woman, what way do you want her to express herself in song and dance? I mean, why do you get the opportunity to decide what's acceptable in American history? The Black Panther Party is a part of American history. Now, before we go all into the Black Panther Party, why was the Black Panther Party even evolved? Why was Martin Luther King even a civil rights leader? Because of the injustice of America to African American people. So why are we having a one-sided conversation about racism? Why are we having a one-sided point of view about racism in the eyes of a 23-year-old white woman? She does not get the opportunity to decide what's acceptable for black Americans. I'm sorry, and I know that a lot of people who have been sharing and liking her video, but the fact of the matter is she's outdated in her knowledge about the Black Panther Party, because here's a fact. She said that the Black Panther Party was an aggressive group who was basically for pro-violence, and that's not true. The Black Panther Party has never bombed 4 little girls, okay? And leaving 1 girl without an eye, harming 4, killing 4. The Black Panther Party has never took a 14-year-old white child and beat him unrecognizable and put him in a river until he was unrecognizable to his entire family, and the image could be outlasted for the next 20 to 30 years. Speaking of Emmett Till, and tell me when the Black Panther Party has arrested a white woman and left her for dead in her jail cell just as recent as 2015, Sandra Bland. I'm sorry, white supremacy is very loud and clear, and it sounds and it looks like Tomi Lahren, period.
Let me ask you this, because you hit on some very, very key points. But let me ask you this. Last time I checked, businesses, corporations, and companies pay millions upon millions of dollars for television ads just for the Super Bowl commercials. So, the halftime show, last time I checked, isn't a place where artists just sign their name on a form. They put all their names in the hats, and the commissioner, Roger Goodell, just pick out a name and say, okay, I chose Beyonce, you perform at the halftime Super Bowl. Right? So, why is all this shade, quote unquote, being thrown towards Beyonce when the NFL committee or whoever was over that, the NFL, signed off on it? Shouldn't some of that shade be thrown towards the NFL and Roger Goodell?
Well, in that case, I don't believe that the NFL is responsible for the creative aspect of the talent at this point. I mean, think about it. No one has mentioned anything about the rainbow colors that Coldplay has played, that played all through the stadium. America's supposed to be all about love. That's what the symbolism of the rainbow stood for the gay marriage possibility, and the gay marriage slogan is love wins. But for some reason, anytime that you are pro-black, that's when America's hate start to penetrate, and it's so hard and it's heavy. Because here's what I just definitely, I don't think, to answer your question very clear, I don't think that the NFL should be responsible for the talent's creative input. That's why they paid them. They hired them to, bring a show. Now, are they going to go and look at a routine, the NFL commission? Hell no. They're not going to go and watch Beyonce dancers, come up with, whatever creative routine they're going to come up with. No, they're not. And I don't think that they should. If they hired them for the music. And everyone is talking about Beyonce's performance, but what did she do after they finished dancing? She came on stage. She battle dance with Bruno Mars. She sung with Coldplay. I mean, the dancers in her alone, that was just one segment of her part of the contribution to the halftime show. And that one segment has America in an uproar. Racist America.
Okay, so to touch on one of your previous points, Tommy Lauren, you were saying about she was historically inaccurate. I mean, especially in the aspect of she wanted to compare Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and saying that Beyonce didn't choose a leader who fought for injustice with peace. But did she forget that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated?
Exactly.
On the point that the government was found guilty of assassinating him?
Exactly.
Right.
So it's historically proven that it doesn't matter if you are for peace or violence, that America will find a way to assassinate you, kill you, leave you fatherless, and then give her a show to talk about how you shouldn't perform. And talk about how little white girls also look up to Beyonce. Did you see that point? She made a point to say that, Beyonce, we know that little black girls and little white girls look up to you. They sing your songs as well. That's what she said.
So is that the underlying issue? Do you think is because Beyonce has so much influence over little white girls? Also, is that the part that maybe makes Tommy Lauren or the several million people who like this video or watch this video have issue with Beyonce doing this? If Beyonce didn't have no influence on the other culture, on white culture, just black culture, do you think it'd be a big uproar about it?
Well, if Beyonce wasn't Beyonce, then she wouldn't be at the halftime show. That's just number one. Because who do we use? America uses people that are very popular. I personally think that Beyonce is the most popular American artist of our time. For the last few years, the woman can go to Korea, and people of Korean culture will start singing Beyonce songs to the left, and I've seen it on video. She can go to Dubai, and Arabic women would recognize her. Beyonce is the most popular American artist. It is. I mean, here's what I think. You have Taylor Swift. You have Britney Spears. You have a long list of white American singers that little white girls can look up to. And not to mention that you have men in the household, in some cases, that have not been incarcerated with the biasness that Bill Clinton has placed on us, but that's a whole different story. When we have a lot of fatherless children at home. We have a lot of issues in the black community, and I don't think that, of course, she's not aware of that, but she's basically upset because she doesn't feel inclusive. This is what she's arguing. she don't believe that Beyonce's tribute was inclusive to white Americans. So tell me, when did America start being inclusive to black Americans? Now, black Americans just started to vote in 1965. She's only 63. So tell me about the inclusion of black people in American history. Tell me about that, because every part of history, black Americans have had to work extremely hard to be a part of history, to make history, and God damn it, we still on the wrong side of it, because white supremacy is strong. It's in the airwaves, from the radio to the TV. It's in the courtroom. White supremacy is invisible to a lot of people, and it's in the classroom. Teachers have a biasness against black students, black boys. I mean, how do you fight white supremacy when it's all over the place? Beyonce did something that, then there's an uproar about Beyonce in the black community as well, because you know it's hard to please us all. But what she did was she brought 50 to 75 black African American women on the football field that do not get picked up for cheerleader squads here in America because they're black, because they're hippie. I mean, so many different avenues. I'm sorry, Dr. Mitchell. I'm sorry. I'm just all,
you're right.
I'm in a, you know, this thing. But, okay, you know, she gave them an opportunity that, I'm sorry, Tommy Lauren would not have. She would not have given them the opportunity. I will ask Tommy Lauren, if she had Madam President on her show, here's one of the things that I will definitely ask her. How many African-American employees do you have here at the station? And what's their background? Who are their parents? Because if they are in the elites and middle class, which means they have this intelligence or this history where education is allotted to them, they have a different understanding than the brother who's poor, like Jay-Z. Come from the projects like Jay-Z. Don't talk to us about crack in our communities, a community that you would never step foot in, a community that you would never step foot in or never have to. A community that was created by white supremacy, because what happened? Integration. Integration gave people the opportunity to move on up. So what did black folks do? They thought they were moving on up, but what they were doing is they were making sure that they were excluding themselves from their brothers and sisters of a certain economic class. So that's why you got the rich up here and you got the poor down here.
So Madam President, how you think she came to the conclusion that Beyonce, President Obama, and Al Sharpton are the reason for not letting America heal from racism?
Because the same reason that the KKK came up with the conclusion that black is evil, after transporting all these black folks over here. You brought all these people over here and hate them because they're here. How is that? Basically, her analysis, whatever the conclusion is, I guarantee you it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why is a person racist? Tell me, why did Dylan Roof, the young white terrorist who walked into South Carolina and killed 9 innocent people? Now that is something that the Black Panther Party never did. So tell me, what did he come up to the conclusion about African Americans and never allowing America to heal? I'm sure him and Tommy Lauren has the same thought process, white supremacy, and they just don't know it because they don't know what it is.
Well, I really, really hope that Tommy Lauren can see this and she can invite you on the show, because I will pay to watch you and her debate. I really would.
Now here's another thing. Here's another thing. She used the term aggressive. She used the term aggressive to describe the Black Lives Matter movement. She used the term aggressive to describe the Black Panther Party. Tell me this, Tommy Lauren, what are you doing when you're on television and you're speaking the way you are? I think that you're speaking the same way that I'm speaking right now. It is not aggressive. It is considered to be passionate. So what's wrong with being passionate about black people? Am I not supposed to love the fact that I'm black because America has taught me to hate that I'm black? What's wrong with American people? Now, here's another thing that I want to bring up, because I know that you're ready to close this segment.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
But it's another thing. What part of American history is acceptable? What part of it does Beyonce supposed to give a tribute to? Is it the part that she feels that it's okay? So we can talk about slavery, we getting whips in the back and smiling about it and picking cotton. But if we start talking about a period or a time where we're more evolved and we start to stand and we start to recognize what's happening, then, oh no, that's a part of history that no one wants to discuss. The Black Panther Party is a part of history. This is Americans' history. You have to look, America needs to take a look in the mirror and see what it has created. It's a shitstorm. And the worst part of it all is she brought Jesus Christ in it. That's what she said.
She brought Jesus Christ in it. And also, she doesn't even want to accept the President of the United States either.
Exactly.
So,
you know why?
Right. So that alludes to the fact that it's a bigger underlying reason in where she's coming from.
Where she's coming from is from a place that most white women, in a lot of TV shows and a lot of historical movies that we love, they don't really capture the role that the white woman played during slavery and how it's been passed down to so many years. See, the white male, of course, is always here. He's the top, but the white female is right below him. The white women who claimed rape to so many black men and had them hung and killed, and children involved as well. I'm not even trying to go back down memory lane, give y'all no good history session, but here's what I do know. Tommy Lawrence's perspective on black is it's a closed-minded and narrow perspective. And the sad part about conservatives is that they believe some kind of way that their thought process is good. Like America is the best thing ever, America is the best thing ever. Well, tell that to Trayvon Martin's parents. Tell that to Michael Brown's parents. Tell that to Sandra Bland's parents. Tell that to Eric Gardner's family. What's their perspective on America? Because it's very different from yours.
Very different, very different. And the black experience is an experience like no other, you know. So, but, you know, I just thought that even with Tommy Lauren even with her opinion, it was just fascinating to me that the video got over 100,000 shares and several million views, and you know, a lot of people agree with her opinion, right? So
exactly,
to be in a day and a time and a place where she said those types of things, and you know, I mean, it was very, very interesting, you know. But you know, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. No, I totally agree with you, but I want you to know a fool ain't hard to find. A fool ain't hard to find. It don't take much to find a fool, to share that message of a group of people that are not enlightened. People want to think the worst about black. It's very easy. It's very easy to think the worst about African American people. It's very easy. And I mean, so her perspective, you know, we take it, we've heard it, but we move right along. And Beyonce, of course, and all the people, I really like the fact that Beyonce had those African American women dancing, giving them an opportunity to pursue their dreams, which is dancing on that field. If she want to talk about America's disparity as well as the NFL, talk about how many black head coaches are in the NFL. Talk about how many black owners are in the NFL. We can start talking about disparities and differences in all kinds of places in America. Don't just choose who and when, because regardless of what Tommy Lawrence think about African American people, we are united. When it's time, we will be united.
Yeah, so let me ask you this, Madam President. Beyonce just fired her entire management team, including her cousin, stating that she wanted, you know, to surround herself with a new management team to take her to another level and to get and you know, to get in a whole different league as far as movie roles and stuff like that. So if this is the first step, do you think Beyonce will continue to follow this path, or what do you think she takes it from here?
Well, honestly, that's a good question for Beyonce. I have no idea.
Or her new management team, right? Good question for a new management team.
That's a really
minus her cousin, right?
It's a horrible question for Madam President. I have no idea what plan or what avenue Beyonce wants to go in the near future. But I know one thing: if she keep on putting that fist up, we're gonna be right behind her, and not because we, you know, black folks, we can use some unity. It's a lot of us that are in desperate places. It's a lot of us that are unemployed. It's a lot of us that are lacking education in all areas. See, the thing about Tomi Lahren, her dangerous, why she's so dangerous, and women who are like her are so dangerous, and white men as well, is because they hire black people. And what happens is they're the people that's sitting in the boardroom. They're the people that's sitting in the courtroom that have this perspective and this perception about black. And anytime that you have some form of, you know, boldness and proudness about it, it becomes an issue for their own superiority complex. How dare you think black is something strong and beautiful? That was a dangerous group. No, that's a lie. The most dangerous group in America are people like you, sitting in places and high places and getting your thought process through the airwaves of other people's mind. Dylan Roof was 18 years old, and he came 18 or 19 years old, and he killed people that had lived, that was in their 60s. Now, what an 18-year-old know about white supremacy? It was taught to him. It was basically, it was bred on the inside of him. It was implemented in his mind, and it's carrying on nonstop. Nonstop. And that's the issue, Dr. Roosevelt. That's the true issue, is that how white supremacy is being passed on, and God damn it, how long it's going to take before it comes to an end.
Thank you so much, Madam President. I really enjoyed this interview, but I would like to give you the last word.
I've had a lot of words. I've had way too many. I think that you caught me in the most passionate time of the night.
Yeah, I know you was on fire, so I just let you go, sister. So I hope you don't mind, but I
appreciate that.
I really hope you all enjoyed this segment, and please leave a comment in the section below as we try to come together collectively as an African American community, right? As we try to press forward, strive toward, yearn toward something better for us as African Americans. So thank you so much, and until next time, my friends, be blessed and be encouraged.